Tracking dramatic developments in Guyana's athletics, and on Monday, SportsMax Zone newly elected President Cheryl Hermanstein confirmed that the association would be inking a deal with sportswear giants Adidas. The deal has come despite a tumultuous period, including a walkout by 6 member clubs ahead of the association's voting process at Sunday's annual general meeting. Kubis C. Gobin, a track and field agent, is understood to have been instrumental in the deal and laying the framework for the long overdue AGM to go ahead. He joins us now via Zoom as we seek a fresh perspective on what's happening at the Athletics Association of Guyana. Kubi, welcome to the SportsMax Zone. Not the first time that we've spoken to you on this show. Always a pleasure to talk to you, sir. And we've been looking at the ups and downs of Guyana's track and field in the past few months. But we have to say this Adidas deal may be something that is, putting a very positive spin on what's happening.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good to see you. The last time I was on was, I think, February of 2022 at that time. And I want to say I made the mistake of saying I was Guyanese when everybody thought I was Jamaican. But nevertheless, we move forward. Good things are happening in Guyana. Very excitable things, Lance. Very, very excitable things. Unfortunate, a lot of misinformation, but a lot of exciting things. A lot of, this year, I think it's slated 38.5 billion million US dollars put into the budget for sports in Guyana. So it's a lot of money that's being invested by the government. And over the last 5 years, it's been, I think, 1.5 million US dollars.
Yeah, I think Dr. Irfan Ali has, and the Sports Minister, Charles Ramsden Jr., have both, documented their interest and willingness to invest heavily in sport. But you just referenced a lot of misinformation there, Kubi. Would you want to suggest what are those issues that you referenced just now?
Yeah, well, let's get to the election. I think the president was being politically polite in the sense that of the 5 clubs that walked out, 4 of them was not in compliance. So it didn't matter really if they had stayed, they couldn't vote. But I leave that for the GenSec or the first vice president to address. But I think when there was a quorum of voting, there were 7 people in the room who could vote. And at the last minute before the voting took place, 1 person additionally walked out. And so it was 6. And so, Madam President got 5 and there was 1 that was voted. Those are the facts. So there was a quorum. It was nothing about a percentage or a fraction or anything like that. If it was legit, well, why didn't the 5, vote stay and vote? But 4 of them was not in compliance and could not vote. I can tell you that for sure.
Yeah, but as a person interested in investing in Guyana's athletics and your Adidas link-up to ensure that the sport can grow, how troubling would it have been for you sitting in Sunday's AGM and seeing what was happening around you?
Well, I think it was kind of expected between you and I. I mean, I was invited to Guyana last month and I met with every person in the government. I met with the AAG, the Olympic Association, and the coaches. Very interesting meetings, very productive meetings. And as I stressed then, we needed a lot of structure and we needed a lot of policies. Lance, I've been in this business 47 years. I'm Guyanese. And not until Madam President came did anybody ever reached out to me and say, QB, can you help us? And this was after the debacle in the Bahamas that she reached out. And we started working together. And I've never said that, I'm backing anybody in the election. I've always said we should maintain the progress we have made. People have, said that I've backed her, but I've worked with her for 15 months, and it's been fantastic. The changes that she's made in the last 15 months is incredible. And, there's a deal that they're going to ink that came because of her, reaching out to me. Yes, I did some work, but I think young Tiana Springer has a lot to do with what has happened in Guyana. I mean, the NIL deal and Adidas. Look, I can tell you, it would be stupid for not getting to Guyana right now. The Guyana economy is 43.6 GDP last year. it's a growing. Lance, I tell you, you need to go there and do a show. It's unbelievable what is happening in Guyana.
Yeah, well,
It's unbelievable.
we did go there a year and a half or so ago to do. It was primarily a football documentary, though, on the Wayne was the president,
Ford.
Wayne Ford, yeah. Because it was a recognition on our part that there were things happening in Guyana, Kubi. So we actually went there.
Big things.
Yeah, we
Big
actually went there, but it was a heavily football based documentary. But you are right. You know, we are far away here in Jamaica, but we are seeing that there are things happening in Guyana that have to be admired. And
you have to wonder why all of a sudden good things are happening with the AAG. And I think the president, the Madam President, has done a great job in the last, when she was interim, and I think she'll continue. I listened to some of the interviews, and there's a lot of power broken. Yes, she has the Olympic Committee, she has the government, she has the
National Sports Commission.
Yeah.
They're all backing her because they don't want any more controversy. They want to move forward. They want to do good things in sport. And I think she will reach out and she will get a consensus and bring everybody together. But she's that kind of person. She comes from a law enforcement background, and she's very humble, and she's not cantankerous, or she doesn't get into discussions of arguments and stuff like that. I think she will do a great job, and I think the government recognized that. And she has a very strong team surrounding her. And I'm available for any advice or any opinion she would want, and I've done that even as recently as Sunday. I told her to look past all the nonsense and just put her head down, and she has a great manifesto that she told you guys, and I think she will accomplish a lot of it.
Yeah. Can you tell me now a bit about the Adidas deal? I think I'm really excited to hear about that and, how Guyana benefits from that deal.
Well, I can't divulge the information of the deal, but I can tell you it's a really suitable deal. And we started working on this before the 2023 World Championships. And she visited Adidas as the interim president. Adidas helped her out, in the jam. Then they came back and they worked with her on the Carifta Games last year. And as you can see, the Jamaican athletes look very spiffy last year. And it's been a work in progress. And when I went down there, they finalized the language in the contract, and I can tell you it's a 4-year deal. I can't reveal what the figures are, but I think everybody will be happy. And to be honest, there's a part of that contract that includes the clubs, and the clubs will be looked after, and I'm sure she's going to do a good job. So even the clubs that maybe didn't vote for her or couldn't vote in the election will be taken care of.
So how soon would you be able to share that with us? Because we've been hearing about this for quite some time, and, as journalists, we want to know.
Well, I think they will make an announcement this week or
Okay.
at their first meeting. I'm told they will. I don't know the final details, of everything, but I can tell you, it's a good 4-year deal. I think everybody that knows about it is happy, including the government.
Just a quick one, QB. When is pen going to be put to paper? Because I know the president said it would be sometime this week, and based on what you've just said, it sounds as if, the signing hasn't quite happened yet.
Well, I'll leave that for them to reveal to you guys. It's not my place to say exactly what's going on there, but I can tell you it's a smart move on the part of Adidas, because with what is going on in Guyana, you have to get in. You have to get into sports. There are people already asking, can we buy the Guyana shirt? Can we, the soccer people want to get involved. The basketball people, I think I just saw Mariah talked about a 3-on-3 competition they're having there. There's a big market for a sports company, and I think Adidas, jumped on this deal, and I think it's going to be great stuff.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. Away from Guyana then, and to Jamaica now, where the country's governing body for athletics, the J3A, is facing a significant scheduling challenge that could have far-reaching implications for many of the nation's top athletes. Now, on Tuesday evening, a local radio station in Jamaica, Nationwide News Network, reported that the June 26 to 29 dates for the Jamaican Championships came up for discussion at a 3-day meeting of Diamond League organizers in Italy last week. Now, while there is no direct clash with Diamond League events, organizers are apparently concerned about weakened lineups as athletes head to Kingston to chase spots on the national team for the September World Championships. There is also an issue of the current trials dates clashing with the final leg of Michael Johnson's Grand Slam track series, which could see athletes missing out on significant earnings. QB, I'm really happy that we have you today because I suspect that this would impact some of your athletes quite likely. I know Rashawn Clark is part of the Grand Slam track series. He signed up for that, and he could potentially miss out on a lot if the date for the national championship remains June 26 to 29.
Well, I can only speak for Rashawn, and yes, you are right. We'll have to find a loophole to get him out of the contract, and we've already explored that, but he will lose a significant amount of his contract signing appearance, and he will, of course, lose the opportunity to make the money in the bonuses. I am aware that the meet promoters, the Diamond League meet promoters, pushed back very strongly that the J3s were out of the window. There were 2 windows that they're out of. And it doesn't surprise me because the J3s never do anything that is the best interest of the athletes or the country. They do stuff individually for themselves and maybe for some other individuals. But, I think it's also a slap in the face of the Grand Slam because, Michael Johnson has gone beyond the call of duty to help with the track and bring a meet to Jamaica, that kind of exposure and that kind of talent. I don't think we've ever seen that kind of talent in Jamaica in athletics. And I think, to have, like I said, I can't speak for the other athletes that are signed up. I can only speak for Rashawn, that these athletes who will lose a significant amount of their appearance as racers, I think it's so sad. But I know for a fact that the Diamond League meet promoters pushed back, and so the World Athletics was in there, and they know about it too. But to correct you, I think the Paris meets goes on the 26th, and there's I think the Stockholm meet goes on the 15th before the championships. But why would you put the championships that early when the World Championships is in September? It doesn't make any sense. And since when does the J3 concerned about NCAA athletes? How many NCAA athletes make the national team?
And by the way, just for context for our viewers, the suggestion about NCAA athletes that came from renowned MVP track and field coach. Oh my gosh, Stephen Francis, thank you very much. I also want to say quickly, QB, that maybe the Racers Grand Prix lineup of 2017, Bolt's final appearance in Jamaica, could rival the lineup that we're seeing for a Grand Slam track, but let's not have that debate. Can you give us an idea of how much money an athlete would be set to lose if they're unable to take part in that final meet of the Grand Slam series?
Well, when I worked it out in trying to find a loophole, I think Rashawn would lose maybe about 20% of his base contract, and then the option for the prize money. That's what I figured if it happens and I was to go to the Grand Slam committee, I think I could maybe, he would lose about 20%.
Yeah, and just one more quickly, given everything that you know, do you have hope that the Jamaica Athletics Administrative Association will have to change the date for the national championships from June 26 to 29?
If I was betting on it, I would think that they will have to move.
All right, let's leave it there. QB, as usual, it's been a pleasure chatting with you. We'll chat again.
Thank you so very much.
Yeah, and by the way, quickly, just looking here, the dates for the Diamond League in June, there is one on the 12th, that's in Oslo, then the 15th of June in Sweden, then the 20th of June, which will be in Paris, and then there's not another one until the 5th of July. So a number of meets around the trials period as it is set now. And I think the fear for Diamond League organizers is if athletes have a national championship at the end of June, it is unlikely that many of them will want to travel to Europe to compete in all of those meets so close to their nationals. All right, we have to rush to a break. We'll be back to close the show with Interactive.